I will always fight for the underdog. I will always do that. I think that's part of my life's mission, is for those who are overlooked, who are not seen, who have been victimized, who have been done wrong, to try to help them. That is part of who I am in life. And I think I've done a pretty decent job of doing that on YouTube, even to my own detriment and downfall. Hey everybody, what's going on? This is your girl Catrice, and if you are new, welcome to Cocktail Hour with Catrice. I hope that you all are doing well. To the returning Wise Counsel Street Committee, you already know what's up. I'm not saying nothing else because you already know, okay? So as I said in the beginning of this video, I will always fight for the underdog, for those of you, those people who have been victimized, done wrong, whatever. I will always do that. And I want to share my heart with you all today. I've been sitting on recording this video for days now, and I you know, in years past, I probably would have just let it die out. I would just, my page would have went black. You would have been like, where's Cocktails? What's going on? But as a mature 43-year-old woman who loves to be held accountable, and I hold myself accountable, I figured I would share with you how I'm feeling about some things so that you all know, like, the focus and where I'm going with this YouTube channel and or my entire brand, okay? Before I get into the meat and potatoes, let me just share with you all how I started, because a lot of people probably don't know how I started. Some people might not care, but you just gotta listen in, okay? Because they tell me I'm talking too much and not get to the point. If that's how you are, honey, you already know how I feel. You can just log off. This is not for you, okay? I don't hold anybody hostage, okay? This part is not for you if you don't want a long story time. It's not gonna be super long, but it's gonna be long enough. So let's go back. I started on YouTube in 2018 because I was transitioning. I was transitioning from Periscope to YouTube, okay? I have been talking about relationships and then ultimately the church on Periscope. So, you know, it was just natural for me to log on to YouTube and try to start creating content. It was a little different back in 2018 as it is now, because in 2018, you had to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in order to really go live. Like you had to have that. I think I started going live though in 2019-ish, 2020, because of the onset of StreamYard, which is the most popular OBS system that's out there. I highly encourage people to download StreamYard. If you want to start creating, there's a link in my bio. Check it out there. You can start your own channel with StreamYard. Okay, it's the easiest thing to do. You can pay like $25 a month. It's really simple. But let's go back to that. Like, you had to have all those different criteria, and so I didn't have that, right? I didn't know what a StreamYard was. I was just trying to figure things out. So I was doing pre-recorded videos, and I was actually trying to actively bring my audience from Periscope to YouTube, but it was a little bit of a challenge. Then I want to say one of my first videos was, because I'm in the Maryland area, a lot of you all know, there's a Christian husband and wife couple here in Maryland, in the Baltimore area, that the wife is a plus size model, the husband is a photographer and videographer, and together they're just like the dynamic duo. They are just like the cutest couple. They're still doing events and stuff to this day. They're doing a fantastic job. They actually came out with a magazine in 2018, and myself and my girlfriend, we went to the launch together. It was great, and then I reviewed it here on the YouTube channel. Okay, so that's how that really got started. I was not talking about the church until Pastor or Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant left Empowerment Temple and went to New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Georgia. Now, in that video, I called the church New Life. It's New Birth Missionary Baptist Church, but I kept calling it New Life in the video, and they were like, it's New Birth, and I'm like, okay, I got it, New Life. Anyway, so I recorded that video. That was very popular. Started talking about Pastor John Gray. Y'all know how much I really like him. Okay. Started talking about him because he was talking about how his wife was birthing him and just all kinds of crazy stuff. And then my most popular video to date, I'm not ashamed of it because I'm just thankful that God has kept me here on YouTube, was the David E. the apostle. That's right, he's an apostle. They called the man of God an apostate. I didn't say it, somebody else did. But Apostle David E. Taylor, when he and Vicky Yohe were splitting up, that's my most viewed video to date. Okay, the people love that video for whatever reason. I'm just like, child, we just talk about the mind of God and how he don't know how to keep his right hand of fellowship to himself, which he don't, like, whatever. So anyway. And then, of course, I found out about StreamYard, started to invest in that, and then really started to hone in on live streaming and my craft. Now, also keep in mind that I want to say that I changed my channel name twice, okay? So initially, my name on Periscope was Classy Boricua, okay? My personal Instagram page is still the same, and it also says in the bio, I'm not looking for any new friends. Go to my cocktail page on Instagram. So only people that I know for real will get access to that page, but I'm not looking for any new friends. So my initial name was Classy Boricua. I then changed my name to Cocktails, Church, and Controversy. And I think I really wanted to, I know I wanted to talk about the church, but I also wanted to talk about, like, because I don't really mind addressing controversial topics, and so I wanted to make sure I had that in the name so people understood what I was trying to do here on YouTube. Sorry, I had to fix a piece of hair. Anyway, I wanted people to know what I really wanted to do on YouTube was really to address the controversies that was going on, but that was met with some controversy, and I will say this, that God allowed me and helped me to weather the storm, which is YouTube. And so ultimately I said, I'm going to rebrand, I'm going to start over, and I'm going to just say Cocktail Hour with Catrice. It was kind of like a play on like the Unwind with Tasha K type of thing, because I love a good cocktail, and it's always can be cocktail hour at any time, and use my name. So that's what I did. I wanted to change it so it could be a little bit more polished, a little bit more streamlined, but also brand new start, because there was a lot that was going on before a lot of you all even knew that I existed here on YouTube. Just wanted to put that out there. So with that being said, and I still have thumbnails up with that name up there, you can check it out for yourself, but it's still Cocktails, Church and Controversies. What is that? Thumbnails up. I can't change that. I mean, I guess I could, but it's no point. God has really preserved your girl. Anyway, so that is that. But here's what's been going on lately and why I have been seemingly MIA here on YouTube. Now, one thing that you don't have to worry about me doing is not owning up to what I do. I pride myself on being accountable. And I am fully aware that I have been MIA on YouTube. Now, I'm acting like I got 10 million people watching me. It doesn't matter, right? I need to be held accountable to the people that watch me week in, week out, that were supporting me 2 years ago. This video is for you all, okay? It would be wrong of me to come on here and to pretend like, or gaslight you all and be like, oh, I've been recording and I haven't really done anything. So let me just share with you all what's been going on and why. And I'm going to start from the main piece, and I'm going to work my way back down. The main component as to, I think, the shift is I moved. A lot of you all know that the background is different from what it was last year this time. I had a beautiful background. I had a great apartment, beautiful background. I have another great apartment here, but the layout is different. And it's hard for me to try to figure out how exactly to find the proper space in order to record properly. That is the first piece to it. Again, my background was lit before. I felt good about recording. I felt, professional, and I still do. I still feel like a professional recording. However, I'm not going to lie to you all. It's not, I don't have the same vibe and the same, that same it factor here, right? And then also, I had to move twice in less than a month. And I really feel like I was trying so hard to recoup everything that I had lost that I was laser focused on that. And that was in May. So it's been 3 months since I've moved. So I was laser focused on the move and recouping all the money that I had spent, which was a good sum of money. I was trying to recoup, and the days started flying by and the weeks started flying by. And then I'm looking up and it's like almost 3 months later. And I'm like, you've only recorded maybe 4 times for YouTube. Like, what is going on with you? So that's another piece to the puzzle. I would say the last piece, which is probably the most extensive piece to it, and it is the one that kind of brings me to recording this video. Excuse me. I have been disappointed in the church to the point where I no longer have the drive to go live. I did not, I promise you, I didn't think of that before I said it. But I have been disappointed to the fact and to the point where I have been, I've been lacking the drive to go live. There are days where I'm sitting in here and I don't have it. You might call it a depression. I've been open about my issues with depression and anxiety. I've never lied about that. But yeah, there were days where I'm like, I could go live. I just don't want to. Another piece to that is I have been disappointed with the church. That's the other components of that. I think the story, and if you've been on my live streams, you would have heard this by now. I do repeat myself from time to time. My apologies in advance. I think the story that broke me was between October and November 2023. And, a lot was coming out of Texas, but I did not expect what happened to come out of Texas. And I started to really think about, like, what is wrong with the people? Like, have these men of God, like, they've lost all their marbles, obviously, because who does this to a child? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, I really just, I'm not gonna say I lost it, but I'm like, I was over it at that point. I'm like, I cannot continue to tell these stories and it not affect me. Like, I'm human. Like, maybe I have a little bit more empathy than a lot of people. Women are naturally more empathetic, and I'm okay with that. I'm a natural nurturer and an empath, and I want to help everybody. But man, that really did something to me. And then from that point, and then the March 15th fire, I was like, you know what? I feel like I checked out almost. You know what I'm saying? When I started to think about going live, I had no desire to do it. When I started thinking about going live, I was like, I don't even want to know what's going on at this point. Like, I'm over it. I was also over to the point where it started to affect me, where I would go out with friends and colleagues and, just out by myself and start talking to people, because that's what I do. If you meet me in person, that's literally how it happens. But it started getting to the point, beloved, where I was just like, yeah, stick a fork in me. Like, you're talking about the church. I will come back when you all are done talking about this, or I'm leaving. Like, I don't want to talk about the church right now. I'm so sick and tired of talking about these preachers. And then it would get to the point where, like, I would tell the stories of what was going on, and folks would be in disbelief that these are people that are outside of the scope of the church. And they would be in full disbelief as to what was happening. They're like, hold on, Catrice. This happened in the church. And I'd be like, yeah. And they would be like, are you sure? And I'm like, I am positive that this happened in the church. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say this happened in the 4 walls of God's temple. And they would look at me and say, well, who would want to go there? Like, it started to become embarrassing to tell people what I did. Like, if I'm at a networking event, and or I would get noticed. Like, I went to this one event. One lady says to me, what's your name? And I was like, well, why? You know, like, do I owe you some money? I don't owe nobody, I don't think. And she was like, no, I think I've seen you online before. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, you know, my name is Catrice, da da da. And she would start talking to me about the disappointment in the church. And how can these men of God do what they do? Because let's be clear, like, it's mostly men of God that commit most of the heinous issues and heinous crimes and heinous behaviors in the church. And while the women of God just sit there and allow them to do it. You know, no accountability. Everybody just gives them a pass because that's what women do. We give men passes. And I'm just like, began to become over it. Okay? I begun to get over it. So let me share with you all what I've been doing in the background. I will share with you all where I am trying to do with the channel. I'm not going to say I'm going to do everything 100% because it's my channel. I do what I want to do. So I can't promise you all it's going to stay like that. But I do know that, you know, with everything, that there's a season, right? So it's the time to be born, the time to die. Y'all know the scripture in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Like, there's a time for everything under the sun. And sometimes you have to shift a little bit. Now, I'm not telling you all that I'm never going to create content about the church ever again. I would be lying to you all. My life is God. Okay? Like, I don't shame people for different religions. I pretty much love everybody. I don't knock people for believing in one thing and vice versa. Like, I don't care. However, I'm a Christian woman. I love God. I love Jesus. I love the church. I love God's people. So I think in all of my content, I will always speak highly of God because God has brought me through so much. And without him, I would have absolutely nothing. Like, I am sure about that. I am positive. I am, yeah. I can't think of anything present day that I cannot attribute God for. Like, my life is a God movement. Like, my life over the last 6 years working solo, it's a God thing, right? So I attribute everything to God, like, literally. But, you know, and so my content will probably always surround Christianity, God. However, what I've been finding solace in is creating other forms of content. A lot of you all know, if you're new, I will fill you in. I'm a published author. And I actually wrote my book, and I believe it was between 2015 and 2016, published in 2016. And I wrote it at the, how do I say it? At the push of my Periscope subscribers. They pushed me to write the book. They held me accountable to getting it out. They bought it in droves when I first purchased it. They were very excited for me, very proud of me for doing it. And I owe them that. So if you are a Periscoper, day one person, I shout them out here all the time when they pop in. Mo Hero, Rhonda. Rhonda was like my armor bearer during that point in time. And she still is. She's a great person. And then E. Woodard, you know what I'm saying? Big homie from the Facebook side of things. Like, they still watch me, right? And so those are just some of the people. Mr. Al that lives, not, I don't want to say where he lived at, but from the Periscope time frame, you know, all of that. My sister, you know, people were pushing me to write. People were pushing me, and they were holding me accountable for it. They really did. And so I owe that book to them. You know, I have, I redid the cover a couple of weeks ago. And all of that, but the book is still out. Like, it's still online, still available for purchase. It's still also on my website, cocktailwithcatrice.com. Okay. So what I have been doing is I have been creating other forms of content. I've been writing books. I love to write. Nowadays I have a little bit of help, thank God. But I love to write. I love to do things that I feel like it's going to help someone else in the long run, right? I don't have any children. I'm not married. I'm single. And there are days when I'm sitting in my apartment and I'm like, what can I do to, you know, help a single woman like me that's struggling for money? Because let's be clear, because I want you all to understand this. I have been very open about my issues with mismanaging money from the past, getting evicted, and again, it's a God thing, right? I got into this apartment so many people from YouTube sold when I was in the transition from my former family friend and former roommate who was a narcissistic fool. From there to here, like, people help me. Like, you don't even understand. If it was not for my subscribers, I would not have been able to move. And I had to have a very long conversation with myself about where I am, what my focus is, and what I'm going to be doing. And I will also be honest and say that at the beginning of me asking myself those questions, a lot of times I did not get the answer because I didn't want to hear the answer. I did not want to, I didn't want to feel what I was feeling. I didn't want to feel depressed. I didn't want to feel down. I just wanted to just be in a really peaceful place. But then I realized, you know, you can't get refined without the fire. You know what I'm saying? So I had to start feeling that thing and start saying, like, okay, you have this problem here. You've been doing good with this. You've been doing good with that. But you got to work on this right here. And so what I did was, because I think credit is so unbelievably important, what I did was I started with the thing that helped me out the most with getting this apartment, and that was my credit. My credit, thank God, okay, moving into my last apartment, I'm not saying it was A1, but it was so good that I didn't need a co-signer. You know what I'm saying? And like in times past, I did need that stuff. I was not in the best place with credit. If you would have asked me where I was 2 years ago, oh my God, like, baby, my credit was shot. Okay? But now I'm not, and I'm still working to build it back up because I had to, you know, take out a loan, whatever. And, you know, use my cards for some things or whatever, which I have to own. However, I said, what is it that you can do to help someone the same way that you needed help? And so I started to, I wrote one book, I published it 3 ways, because I'm smart like that. Published it 3 ways and put it out on Amazon.com. Then also, you know, I put up some information about how to work from home by yourself, because a lot of people need, you know, a lot of people are looking for that type of content, especially as on a place like TikTok, right? And here on YouTube. But TikTok, the algorithm is so fast. You know what I'm saying? So I do tend to post a lot more there on TikTok about the things that I'm working on. But I figured I would tell you all here because I don't want you all to be left out in the dark. Okay? And so that's what I've done. I have really just sat down and very proud of myself, by the way. I feel more empowered these days. I had days where I felt bored. I felt uninspired. I had one day, I forgot what, I think it was like a Thursday or a Friday, one of those days. And I use the Walmart app, and I can just order my groceries and pick them up and all that, because I'm lazy. Child, I'm not going to no grocery store unless I have to. I'm not going to say I will never, Lord, but if I have to, I will. But I try not to. So I was leaving out of the parking lot, driving home, and a part of me was like, you're bored. You are bored. Like, I feel like I need to write a grant. I said, I'd be willing to write a grant for free. This was back then. This is a couple weeks ago. I said, I would be willing to write a grant for free just so I could feel the excitement of getting it out, right? Because, you know, I'm a nerd like that. I love to just figure things out. I love to be challenged with, you know, a task of writing a grant or writing a proposal that's going to win you X amount of dollars. I like doing that kind of stuff. And so I said, I felt like I needed to be challenged. I felt like I needed the drive, the determination again. I just felt bored, right? And so I talked to a couple of people, and they were like, well, listen, I don't have a grant for you to write, but I have X, Y, and Z for you to do. So, you know, things started really picking up. I'm so grateful for that. And so I started writing, you know, doing little lists about how to work from home for single mothers and single women, or, you know, or just for women in general. Like, I just try to create things where people can hone in their skills. And I think with the YouTube channel, although if something major happens, I'm coming live. Okay. But if something major but in the meantime, I wanted to create more content that's going to be more solutions based, right? I did not realize that when I first started YouTube that me talking about the church would be so toxic. That, like, the amount of toxicity that I've had to absorb over the last 2 years has been undeniable. Okay. I have not taken in so much raggedy, toxic, vile content. And like, I'll say it like this: I have not taken in such raggedy, vile, toxic content in the world. There is more raggedy, vile, toxic content that I have covered here on YouTube about the church that I have never heard done in the secular realm, and that scares me. So for me, I'm like, what can I do to be more solutions based? How can you teach the next generation, even the older saints? Because some people don't know the first thing to do, where to start. Oh, how can you generate money doing this? Or how can you generate this type of content? Even if it's a hobby. Hey, how can I do X, Y, and Z? I want to be able to use AI without a problem, but I don't know the first way to start. How do I do it? I want to show you how to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really where I'm at. I want to create more solutions-based content. I want to help people to thrive. I want to help people to live their best life. If you are in ministry, I want to help you with marketplace ministry. It's so unbelievably easy. And I say it's easy, but that's through a lot of testing and trial of my own, right? I want to show people to hone in their passion. And by me doing that, I'm honing in my passion. I'm not sitting up here saying I have all this money. I don't. I have enough. God is good. And if I don't, let me tell you how God does it. He has people in my life that it blows my mind sometimes. I'm just like, what, like, and there are times when I want to practice false humility. Like, oh my God, I didn't need that. But I'm like, yeah, you did, because you need to pay that bill. Like, I just want to be honest with people. I just want to be as transparent as possible and show you all what I have done over the last couple of years to do what I do, and to connect with the people that I connect with, and to build the things that I build, and to write the things that I write. Like, I want to do that kind of stuff. I want to give tips and tricks on how to write an ebook, and okay, you did this, now figure out how to use ChatGPT to generate this. It's easy stuff to me, but maybe not to everybody else. And so again, I will still be Christian based. Okay, y'all know I'm honest though. I do curse a little piece. I do drink a little piece. I'm dishonest, but I'm still a Christian nonetheless, and I want to show people what God has done really for me. And I know that through me honing in my passion, then He will really expand the horizon of what He wants me to do. And I can't continue to lie about it. I cannot continue to pretend like I am just satisfied with just talking about the church on YouTube. I'm not. I don't watch any of the content creators. I have not. I really try to take the Funky Dineva approach. I'm talking about in the church sector. I try to take the Funky Dineva approach and not watch people in my own niche, because you don't want to pick up on their stuff. And so I made it a point to not really watch a lot of Christian-based content creators here on YouTube, because I don't want their opinion to jade mine about things. And so I cannot tell you what's going on in the sector. I cannot tell you what's going on. If there's beef, or I can't tell you nothing, because that is how little I pay attention to everything. Every now and then the algorithm will send me a video where I'm like, oh, this is interesting, and I'll click on it, and then I realize, okay, that's why you don't click on other people's content. Shut it down. That's it. But that's pretty much it. If you all have any questions or any comments, please feel free to let me know down below. Again, if you are looking to start your own YouTube channel, you should check in the link in my bio for the StreamYard link. From there, you can build your own platform, and it's not hard. And if you need help, do not hesitate to hit me up on all social media and or on my website, and I would be proud to help you. All right? Talk to you all soon. Bye. Fun.